Good morning, this is Loki of Literati. It's 3:42. And what's more, it's gray outside too, so I've got to find some way to play inside my mind and let all that fun wind out. If there's no sunshine to give me proper power, I have to shower myself in my own clout and be devoured in a whole mantra list of blessings that I can just keep using, not so much as affirmations, woo 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 gee, but more like proclamations, like re-imprinting the finest way everything that not just makes me smile, but the most efficient plays. Follow the blueprint every single day. And the more that your mind is on those tracks, the less that all the demons from the past and all the doubts and everything that you can do without finds its way in. Ultimately, I keep finding a cringe every time I come around, make my rounds to all my friends, because for the most part, everyone I hang out with is just balls outs and tits and good and witty and smart and wants happiness and to get snappy with things. And everyone's in for the right kind of friendship and camaraderie and rapport, when you meet and bond and root for each other and share at each other's bounty and really want to see each other succeed and try to groove in each other's ways and discuss the commonalities that you have different ideas on, but still want to see each other's groove. But then every now and then, I find my way around a bend talking to a friend and we round a curve and suddenly they get suddenly disturbed. I know you've all been there before where you heard the three no's in a row that people say when you've got something cool and they've got something to add, but they can't handle it. There's a hostility. It's something that I think unwillingly comes up. Everyone's heard it. People who say no to mean yes. I don't mean in the sexual sense. I'm not talking about when no means no. I mean very specifically when a topic is brought up and you've got something that you can do to build this, a more expounded view on the topic, and you hear no, and then a repeat of what you just fucking said, and then some sort of cognitive dissonance break over that. If I point out that there's water damage on the Sphinx when there hasn't been water in the Amazon out there, not the Amazon basin, water hasn't been water out there where the Sphinx was built for over 3,000 years, and someone says, no, geological evidence says there hasn't been this, then right away my idea is, okay, this is a person who's not used to speaking correctly. They're wanting to be they're obviously wanting to continue this, but there's some hostility, right? There's a sense of no. There's all sorts of other ways in which people end up sending conversation into disarray and arguments come out of things that would be agreements, and someone tries to fight me when we're both having the exact same discussion, but their mind just can't be crushing on, and they're trying to give me a concussion, batter my senses with their ugliness, this tableau of shit they've got because they can't just flow off their thoughts, even though it's a very real and clear sense. We should be in agreement. I get fed up with it. Sometimes I think it's when ignorant fucks end up thinking that I'm just bringing up topics in order to buck their mind. You get the hostile face and the "why'd you bring that up?" or "yeah, I knew that." Always with that ugh, that derision. These are the same kind of people who, if you don't see them for weeks or even years, and you see them again, you suddenly they've got that "there's something in my rear face that I can't shit it out" right grimace when they see you. That's what I mean when I rhyme shit like whether you cringe, sigh, or peek upon my arrival, I'll singe your eyes when I speak spry and cold. It's something I have to face every now and then. I'm going into Everett today. I was down in LA a few weekends ago, and only once did that come up then. And, well, going into the old hood today, it won't come up. Because people are way more real when you get poor, but that's the trippy thing. That's not 100%. There's a few poor people who will absolutely be hostile if they ever saw me just because they can't jaw so free. People end up getting pissed off when you're doing well. That doesn't even have to be financial as well. You can just gel with what's happening. You can be living in utter hell supporting some welfare family, watching your money get drained away and still wake up every day and say, I've got my brain with which to play, and wake up with a smile on your face and have someone ask you, what are you smiling for? Why are you an asshole today? It's the trippy thing. I think I've cut almost all the shitters out of my life, so only once or twice every couple of weeks does anything ever come up to bite. And it's usually something ugly that somebody has to speak, and I always wonder, what makes someone flip something happy into some kind of argument? That's where a lot of my Loki side came from. That sense of, hey, why are you trying to bust my groove? Is it just some kind of sass you're trying to use like it's a hobby to be sarcastic, and you think that this is a good practice and you want to play on me? Because if so, you can try to slay, but I got a heckler game all day, you know? I can be switching lanes and switching lanes and kicking up the frames and flipping pyramids on any fucking day. There's any direction from which you came, it's all right. Your mind can get maimed, but it's not ever actually what I want to do with the wit and talent and the shitty challenges that come up. I mean, that shit's just something people don't want to groove, and I think that's maybe a social dominance test in some cases. You've got bombing sense, so people are like, "Oh my god," they don't like it if you're too honest, especially if they're the person who's used to being the only blunt one in the group. Which I say, okay, dude, you got to get out of that. You cannot be hanging with any group of people in which there's only one blunt and honest person in the group, because that means everyone else is sheeple. So what's up? If then nobody else has a peep to go, that's a real role, then whoops, meet me out of there, yo, is what I say. But when you meet someone who in their mind is the only one who can climb up that ladder and be on that high horse and declare what the world's all about, and they're going to scream and shout and tell you every fifth conversation that they're blunt, that they're upfront, that they'll be real, you know, 10 times out of 10, those people end up having a conflict with me the first 10 times they meet me time and again, even though I don't bring up hostile subjects. And I think it's always because the more acceptance you have over someone, the more real dominance you have of the situation. Ultimately, the cooperative frame is what causes everything to work over and over again. People have this exclamation of victory whenever something goes well for them. So they look back on their history and say, okay, oh, well, that was just a time when, my alpha dom side ended up being the way to ride, and everyone else had to go along with the vibe because I'm just that strong. So that's going to be a part of my chant, my personal song. That's why my anthems are always about singular cohesion within the whole situation. I know that makes my firebombs a whole messy complication. It's a puzzle kaleidoscope thing that I'm making every time, but that's just the way I spit. So, if you don't like the way I spit, fuck you, get the fuck off the planet. My licks rock. You can fucking cram it. But when someone else who's so used to, no, this is it, there's only one proto-dominant way to address a situation, you come off and you just got enough groove on it that everyone can win and everyone has their place. I mean, no one person can do it all, but everyone can do something, which means you can learn from everyone. That's the whole way of the human race, is we're all running together, not against each other. So every now and then I meet someone like that, and I think that's why it's so easy to put fuckers like that in their place, because if you can out imaginate and stay in the cooperative frame, then you can see where everyone's at. And someone who wants to roll up and be jocular and jovial and competitive with their wit and right away flip you hostile shit, or because you brought up a new topic that they've already got something on with, and they first have to establish their dominant on that and cut you down. Any of that, it always brings out the clown in me, because I get it. They're trying to irk me. There's a sense of emotional expressiveness in every sentence, and there's wonder and fascination that I seek to share with everyone. And then the more knowledge I gain, the more polish on it again, the more panache I take every time I cash a bowl and rake my mind across the coals and say, when I take this new knowledge across my inner hell, it comes out and I can just gel with the function of it. I mean, ah. That's the luncheon of brain food, soul food. You come out munching on it like a cannibal's buffet, and humanity spray is supposed to give you so many different ways to smile every day. So, I suppose that's why there's always a tiny bit of thorn in every one of my vines. It's like I'm just so used to scorn to vines. It's not often anymore, like I said. Many times I've cut the shitters out of my life, but not everyone's 100% on being copacetic 100% of the time, so there's a part of my bent mind that's still lent to rhyme and sent to handle dissent now and again, but that ain't no fucking crime. That's just heckler game. And heckler game is just a fucking magic trick. Anyways, this is Loki of Literati. Spit first, transcribe later. Chapter. Oh shit, not 6. I was about to rhyme that wrong. This is Firebomb number 7. Yeah. In which I'm delving into the finer points of social consciousness and how to handle the dynamics of those who can fucking cram it.